Welcome back, guys. How about that intro? Like, what does that intro make you guys think of?
Are we the only ones that can see that, or can everybody?
No, everybody can.
Everybody can?
Like,
all right.
I picture myself in like a movie theater or something like that.
Final countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Like, I got this big smile on my face whenever it comes on. So weekends, I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm gonna go first just to change it up a little bit. Had a pretty solid weekend. For the most part, dreaded last night. I dread every Sunday night after a weekend. I imagine a lot of you are like that as well. Except Matt, you got Mondays off, so it's not.
I do have Mondays off, so my night is tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Yeah.
But I did some golfing with my brother and his girlfriend. So it went just terrible, awful. No clubs thrown.
That's good.
I came out of it with like this quote that like I thought I was going to share with you guys. Thought you might find it funny. I like my golf balls. Never mind, forget it. If I remember, I'll let you guys know.
That's a bad start.
Yeah. Anyway, yesterday, Friday, I went and saw my new nephew Lawson. He was born 9 pounds, that sounds like it's pretty big, and I'm expecting this huge baby, and it's just, he's just this big, But watched the fight Saturday night, guys.
How was that?
Just disgusting.
Did you pay for that?
I did. I paid.
Yeah, okay.
I paid for it.
How much was it?
$50. And I wouldn't have paid anything for it if I had known it was going to be like it was. So you want me to did any of you guys watch it?
No.
We didn't
just
really
talk. Like what happened, I guess.
We didn't really talk about it. I mean, Ben Askren's a bum. So is Jake Paul. They're just, everybody's, if you like that guy. Anyway, so there's just like 2 hours of like music, dancing, and terrible fights. There's a slap contest. Whoever got slapped out, that was kind of fun. Ric Flair came in there and did his old woo, like that was funny. But I'm rambling now. Anyway, it was a joke. I hated it. Let's go to Matt.
Yeah. So Friday, up in La Crosse, we had one of our friends and her husband come over to see the house for the first time. So that was kind of cool just to hang out. And then Saturday we went out on the pontoon out here on Lake Onalaska. I mean, I know it was only 60 degrees, but with our busy summer coming up, anytime we can get out, 60, 80, whatever, we're going to go out. So we went out there, ended up watching the girls volleyball game Saturday night, which we'll talk about. And then Sunday was actually pretty productive around here. Knocked out a lot of stuff that was on my wedding list that I had to get done. And then we kind of deep cleaned the grill, and now we are starting to repaint our guest bedroom. So just knocking out some stuff, a little spring cleaning. What about you, Rosh?
Yeah, this weekend was pretty relaxing. Nothing honestly too crazy, other than we switched gyms. We were members at this gym for almost 3 years out here, since we've been out here, and since COVID and everything, they've gotten rid of their child care. And with a little 3-year-old now, he's a maniac. He doesn't really let us lift, and so that daycare was clutch. And they decided that even with the restrictions lightening up, they're not going to go back to childcare because they're actually making more money without it. And so what they had to pay like the workers and stuff versus like how many people they might lose as members, I guess they're willing to just not do it anymore. And so we were scrambling to find a new gym, and we found one, and so we got to go to it. Cash is all jacked up because not only do they have childcare, but they do like child classes within childcare. So he got to do like a little Ninja Warrior course the first day he was there, and they have like a little mini basketball hoop, an indoor play set, an arts and crafts table. I mean, they got quite a few stuff. So he's all jacked about that. And then once he saw the indoor and outdoor pools, he got even more jacked up because they And then the icing on the cake was today. He discovered that there was like a 40-yard indoor field turf with soccer nets in this gym as well. And so he's all jacked up because now he gets swimming, or being in water, which is his favorite. Kicking around the soccer ball, which he's loving to do.
Yep.
And then all those classes. So he's all jacked up about it. It's a nice place. I enjoy it, but that's the highlight of my weekend was finding a new gym and one that he actually gets excited to go to, opposed to it being kind of like something he dreads. Now he's looking forward to it, which is nice because then I can get in a workout without having to worry about if I'm going to get a phone call for me to run down there because he's not having it. So, but that was pretty much the extent of my weekend. Otherwise, same as Matt, just kind of tidying things up, cleaning the basement a little bit, organizing, because after, I don't know if we talked about this on the cast too much, but I go all out for my Christmas decorations, both in the house and outside. And when winter hits, I just kind of throw everything in Rubbermaid containers, like those big, not Rubbermaid, what are they? I don't know what they're called.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But those big plastic containers, but I don't, like, it's winter and it's cold, and in the basement, in our basement, it's cold. And I was like, I'll just throw them in there and get it later. And so it's kind of organizing that sort of stuff. And well, I'd like to call it spring cleaning. And I know you guys can't really see it out the window, but we're supposed to get 3 to 6 inches of snow tonight, so that's going to be a blast.
Yeah,
a blast to have to deal with in the middle of April. And so that's my weekend.
I got a feeling Mike knows a little bit about what you're going through right now. So
yeah.
Yep.
And I apologize for cracking up, Jeremy. I just noticed the shirt you're wearing.
Oh, yeah.
It's
just a cow. Yeah,
right. I really
I don't give a hoot. But yeah, go ahead, Mike.
No, pretty fun weekend up here in the Northwoods. I don't think I told you guys this. An interesting experience we had was Friday night. We went to a restaurant south of Ashland. I won't name the restaurant, but safe to say I won't be going back there. We left the house at 5:30. It took us 2 hours to get our food. So we didn't get home. Till like 9 o'clock on Friday. With 2 kids, it was not a fun experience. But the food was okay. Saturday we had 2 soccer games here on campus that I had to work. And then we actually went over to one of our neighbors' place just to hang out for the night. And then Sunday was just kind of a relaxing day. We went to the park with the kids, got some Dairy Queen ice cream, and called it a night. So pretty.
What's your go-to blizzard?
Peanut butter cup.
Which is a good question in general for us, I think. But
yeah,
peanut butter cup. What's
there's nothing better.
Okay.
It's so good. I got a big, large one too. It was huge.
Okay. That restaurant that you guys went to, is it one that we've gone to before? Just curious for myself. No? Okay.
No, it's in a town. It's in I don't even want to say the town because
that's fine. Yeah,
it's only like one restaurant in the whole town, but yeah, it was with two kids, and like we ordered like appetizers, we ordered drinks. They pretty much like forgot about us, so I actually had to go up to the bar to get drinks, put our order in, and it was. Yeah, it literally was like a 3-hour night.
I'm curious as well. Now that I just saw that Anna's comment about that being the worst fight ever. Anybody else in chat want to say how they felt about that fight? Because I'm genuinely curious if I can find anybody that enjoyed it. I mean, even like Justin Bieber. I'm not going to go off on another tangent, but Justin Bieber was there, and people were sick and thought his performance stunk. Anyway,
I feel like before one last thing, I feel like what was the last fight that you bought? Or no, you didn't even buy it. Was it Jake Paul's fight the last time? And you were just saying like, You said the highlight was like Snoop Dogg or something like that.
No, the last fight was when Jay Green watched the Tyson fight. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I love watching the fights. I think boxing's cool, and I'll just watch it on TV sometimes. But the Tyson Roy Jones Jr. that was a good fight. And it's about money. Anyway, it's about. I mean, you sign a contract, you're going to get paid. And that's what Askren did. He wanted the money.
Yeah.
It was stupid.
Wasn't he smiling, walking off, him and his wife or girlfriend or whatever?
How much did he get?
Couple mil, something like that.
I thought it was like $1 million.
My last comment with this too is Jake Paul wants to be considered like a boxer. Why doesn't he fight like a real boxer then?
Yeah, well, that's a good question because I don't know it either. So let's move forward here. I know the Badger women's volleyball is playing right now. Matt, you want to give us a live update on that right now?
Yeah, so they right now are tied a set or 1-1, and it is tied in the third set 18-17. Wisconsin is up in the third set. So this is right now. There's only 8 teams left. So this is to go to. I mean, I don't know if they call it the Final Four in volleyball, but it's the Final Four or semis, whatever. And then they would play Thursday night against Texas. And then Saturday would be the national championship. So hopefully the next time we talk about them, they're national champions, but we'll see.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but was it last year or the year before we lost to Texas in the national championship, I think, to them?
So 2 years ago, last year I think was a wash, right?
Okay.
I think. And then 2 years ago we lost to Stanford in the title, 3 sets to rip, but I think it was the year before that. So two seasons that they played ago, I guess.
Could give you a Brewers update too while we're at it. They basically keep on, alternating wins and losses. It looks, if I remember right, they did win 2 out of 3 from the Cubbies, who offense is just atrocious, just terrible. You guys got any insights on what you've seen from the Brewers? Pitching is lights out. Batting is flip a coin to see if they're going to be there or not.
I think for me, pitching obviously stellar. I know that was kind of our big thing. I think Rosh talked about it a little bit. I think for us right now, we just got to get healthy. You got Yelich, Wong, and I think Kane, all 3 on the IL, and you get those guys back in the lineup. When they were in the lineup, we were hitting pretty well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I don't know now.
Yeah, I would say the team's doing exactly opposite of what I predicted. So that tells you how much I know about baseball.
Yeah.
I thought the big question mark this whole time was our starting pitching staff, right? We all knew once if we got a lead going into the 7th inning, we're fine, with the back end of our bullpen. But I was worried about starting pitching, and here we are. What are we? 15? I think 15 games in.
That's about right.
And we have the best starting pitching staff in the entire Major League of Baseball.
Yeah.
So it's they're doing their part, but it sucks when you have. I just saw a stat today. Even after yesterday's loss, Brewers starting pitching is the opponent's batting average is like a 176. Which is ridiculous. If the other team's batting 176 against your starters, you should be winning games.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating that we're basically 500. Now it's early, right? Look at the Yankees. The Yankees have one of the most offensive lineups in the entire league, and they're 5-10 right now. So I know it's early and time's going to tell, but I will say our offense will turn it around when we get healthy and we get guys back. But the bright spot is if our starting pitching they don't have to keep this up, but if they are just half as good as they are right now, we should have a pretty good season once the offense picks it up, and in my opinion anyways. What's
interesting about that, Raj, is, and we talk about it all week, we keep calling these guys out, right? And then they perform. That's what the Berg boys do.
They're listening.
Okay? Urias has been shutting me up, so I should start yelling at again.
Yeah, who should we get on next? But Daniel has a good question. Koloff, hopefully I'm saying that right.
Yep.
What are your guys' thoughts on the rule change for the extra inning? And for those of you who don't know what the rule is, So basically, if you're tied after 9 innings, the last out, I believe, goes to second base, and it's it just kind of puts more high pressure situation on the pitcher, and just more intensity. And I think it the idea of it is it's going to save pitchers' arms, quicker games. We're not going to have 21 inning games. And I don't know, just progress a game. And I guess my initial thought on it is I love it. That being said, there's a number of things that play into it, right? And so you're not going to have as many innings pitched by relief pitchers because there's going to be less innings because games ending quicker because of this rule. And then there's also the other side of it that's going to be like, you mess with the rules too much, then it changes the game, right? Like basketball, like the idea of putting in a 4-pointer seems crazy, right? That'd be dumb. But like you just don't want to mess with the rules too much because then it changes the game. But go ahead, guys.
I like it too as well. I mean, I think somehow, some way they got to make baseball more fun to watch. And right now, I actually looked at a stat before we got on here that I think this 2-week span that the season's been on has been the most watched in like 20 years.
Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
Then they also said that, I don't know if it affects you guys a lot, but like the blackout restriction that the MLB has is just like ridiculous. Like if they're playing on, a channel like an ESPN, you can't watch it on Valley View Sports or whatever that's called nowadays. But I like it. I think it adds major excitement instead of those games that, you're in the 17th inning and you're facing, the bottom of the relief pitching. So I think they should keep that rule.
And it could be like, go ahead, Mike. Sorry.
No, I've been pretty critical of the MLB like in the past, and I think this is finally a step, maybe in the right direction. We've talked about in the past on this podcast just about like, the marketing of the players and just, kind of that old baseball, old man mentality, that you see all these other sports that are, changing the rules. Like think of the NFL, like, just since we've, been old enough or started, really following the NFL, like think of the rule changes that have taken place. Like I still hope that with NFL, like they'll hopefully change the overtime rules. Maybe like for me personally, I like to see the NFL go back to what the college, like what the NCAA college does, where both teams have possession. But I think this is a right step in the, for the MLB, and it's definitely, I think it's a lot more exciting.
Yeah, I think the one thing, like when I see it, first of all, I like it. I'm for it. But when I see it, it makes me feel like I'm at a little league tournament. Mm-hmm. Like this is professional baseball, and here's this dude trotting out to second base to start the inning. To me, it's just kind of like, whoa, this is weird. Like because I'm a traditionalist where like I hate instant replay on everything. It's slowing down the game. Like part of the game has always been a human error. That's just the way it is. But now obviously with technology, just like everything, we're just continuing to evolve, and we got to continue to use technology. So I get that, but I definitely like the idea. I think it speeds up everything. I think with today's society and how attention spans operate, I think it's a good move. I think it saves pitchers' arms. It makes it more exciting, that's for sure. Instead of those, don't get me wrong, a 21 inning game is exciting, and if you bought a ticket, you're getting your money's worth, so that's a plus. But that's a long day, especially if you got the kids with you or whatever.
And they stopped selling beer. What, the 7th inning?
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah. True. Good point too. So like I definitely like the idea. It just I saw it for the first time, and it's just goofy looking.
That's probably good though, Matt. Can you imagine if they sold beer until the 20th inning?
I mean, if you're hitting
money they
I know, but like
if you're hitting it hard, that 14th inning that ain't gonna be too fun for you.
You just prep it. You like they quit selling in the 7th inning and get bet 5 beers.
It's just beer water.
Hide them away. Yeah. But yeah, I mean that's a good question, Daniel. I mean that is a good question.
Well, the sad thing is I don't know if you guys seen it. I think it's happened like twice now. The MLB, even when they do review, they can't even get the call right.
No.
Those couple times that ended game walk-offs, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I could go on and on about the MLB. Like Mike Trout, kids. That guy is like a lost out in LA. Like no one can watch him. Never have primetime games to see Mike Trout, one of the best players in the league, and that's just a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah, and Mike Trout's a lot like just a very likable guy. Like he's just not Alex Rodriguez-ish. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
What's next, Raj? You got this next piece, Reedsburg football. What's up there?
Yeah, so the WIA finally made a decision on the conference realignment, and they approved Reedsburg and Baraboo going to the Mississippi Valley Conference. So that's set in stone for the fall of 2022. So not this coming season, but the following. They said they listened to the alternative plans, but at the end of the day, they basically what WIA said is, we listen, but we're still going with our original.
At the end of the day, you don't care.
So that's what they're doing, and they say one of the main reasons is to, they say geography, and they say
geography,
and they say because of what does it say here? Enrollment and geography. But then the one good point they make now, again, there's ways around this, but they're prioritizing 8-team. Paired with 7-team conferences because of the need for 7-game conferences for playoff qualifying. And so you need, in order for your conference wins and losses and all that stuff to play out for playoffs, supposedly you need at least a 7-team conference. And so this is going to help apparently on this. But so what it's going to look like here in terms of who we are with and what is the old Badger South and North. So the Mississippi Valley is going to be, and this is from largest school to smallest: Holman, La Crosse Central, Onalaska, Toma, Baraboo, Reedsburg, Sparta, La Crosse, Logan. And I'll say from a football standpoint, we're going to be very competitive in this conference. Onalaska is pretty tough. Holman can be good. Toma and Sparta are up and down. The lacrosse schools for the most part suck.
Yeah.
But they're gonna be competitive in football. And then what becomes the Badger small and Badger large? The Badger large will now be, and this is 2022, from biggest to smallest: Waunakee, Sun Prairie East, Sun Prairie West, Watertown, Oregon, not Oregon, but this is the town in Wisconsin.
Oregon.
So it's Oregon.
Whatever, man.
Beaver Dam and Milton, and then the Badger small would be Monona Grove, DeForest, Fort Atkinson, Stoughton, Mount Horeb, Sauk, and Portage.
Oh my God!
So Portage got their wish.
Portage wanted to stay with Reedsburg and Baraboo.
Oh, okay.
They want out
I
of the.
thought Portage was also another team going too.
No, it's always been just Reedsburg and Baraboo, but that's the reason Portage has always been pissed, is because they want to stay with us. And that's my biggest argument. I tried to put myself in the picture of a player or a coach, and at the end of the day, does it really matter who your opponent is or where you have to travel to? No, you're going to play. You're going to give it your best. You're going to compete. You're going to game plan. You're going to do all that stuff. So, at the end of the day, that stuff isn't a factor. Whoever your opponent is, that's who they are. You go out and try to win, right? But the one thing that, from my standpoint, that kind of frustrates me is, ever since I remember watching football, even as a ball boy, I remember Portage. I remember Sauk. Now, back then it was the SEC, so they're Boston, Adams, Friendship, those schools were in there too. But it's always been Reedsburg, Baraboo, Portage, Sauk. I feel like those four schools. And that's the part that's going to suck now. Now you don't know what's going to happen non-conference, right? Maybe non-conference Baraboo, Sauk, Portage, Reedsburg have this thing where they're like, hey, let's play each other non-con, but that still doesn't have the same feel to it, right? And so that to me is the biggest negative to it. I mean, travel is going to suck, don't get me wrong, but right now if it stays football only, which I didn't read far enough to see if it's going to go past football only, but right now it's football only. When you think about it, football only, you play 9 games. Of those 9, the most you're going to travel is 5. You might have to go to lacrosse twice, which is going to suck. But then the rest of them are going to be an hour under for the most part. So yes, it's more travel, but I mean, could be worse. You could live in Ashland,
Hey,
and have to travel 3 hours to play a game. No, I think Superior legit has to play like all the way from like down to Eau Claire to wherever. But I don't know. Everyone, just for the record too, everyone hated when we left the SSC to go to the Badger too.
True.
And now everyone hates that we're leaving the Badger. So like, I mean, if you look at it hindsight, I mean, it sucks now. Don't get me wrong. I didn't want them to leave. But who knows? I mean, and for like Jay Green says with trades all the time, you never know for a couple years if it's going to work out or what it looks like.
That's why I'm holding my tongue. That's exactly why I'm holding my tongue. I
think it's going to take a while though too. Like I just can't like. I know, Kris. When we were on the team, we had a playoff game against Onalaska, but I just feel like it's going to be weird. And maybe it won't be, but just like getting up for a game against Holman or Sparta.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just got to create. I don't know. Create rivalries. I don't know.
And that's what it's going to take. But the problem is that like Mike said, it's going to take time, right?
Yeah.
This first year, you're going to feel like you're playing all non-conference games. It's not going to feel like you're in a conference championship or a conference tournament, right? It's going to feel not this fall, but in 2022. Where like when you go against Baraboo or you go against Sauk, it's a conference game. It's a big game. Where you go against these schools and right away you're going to be like, are we just playing an independent schedule? Like that's what it feels like. But who knows what will ultimately happen or if this is going to be a good move or a bad move. I would have liked to see them stay. I also don't like it. Like, you go into the large, teams now since conferences are changing so damn much. Schools can't put football Badgers conference champs, football SCC champs, football Mississippi Valley champ. You know what I'm saying? Like now you just have to say conference champs.
Conference champs.
Because we've been in 3 conferences in what would it be now? I think we went into the Badger around
2000.
Yeah, it was right around there, 98, 99, maybe somewhere in there. I think we made the switch because I think my sister was in high school still, but I could be wrong on that. But it was right around there anyways. So I mean, in 22 years, let's call it, we've been in 3 different conferences. Like that part's frustrating, and it just, I don't know. And I get enrollment changes. I get the biggest factor of this whole thing is the new Sun Prairie School, right? They're the ones.
2001.
My cousin Lindsay just said 2001. Thanks, Lindsay. The biggest thing, with all of this is you just don't know what's going to end up happening, but hopefully it ends up being good for them. Hopefully it works out. Travel's going to suck. Rivalries are going to be gone, but hopefully new ones get made, I guess.
Yeah.
But what'll be really, really frustrating is if they do it for 3 or 4 years, and then here comes a task force and they realign the conference.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's going to be the frustrating thing. But this whole thing is just started because of Sun Prairie, right? They're going from a school of 2,400 to basically 2 schools of 1,200 now, and so that adds a wrinkle because the Big 8 isn't even 8 teams; it's more than that because of the Janesville schools and all that dynamic, and so they're trying to figure out how to rearrange basically the Madison schools, and it's shitty, but the from what I've gathered from WIAA is if you're in Madison or around Madison, you take priority over rural schools. Like that's like they're doing all of this because of Sun Prairie and the Madison schools and the Big 8. Like that's the truth. And now how does the Big 8, how are they going to be happy? Okay, this is how they're going to be happy. Now this is what we have to do to the rest of the conferences to make that work. It's kind of like my thought on it, I guess. It's kind of how I see it going down, and kind of sucks. But
has there been a statement from anybody from Reesburg on this at all?
I haven't seen anything on social media. I'm sure they have a statement, but it's probably just not a public statement. but from what I remember hearing, I think Reedsburg was against it, from my understanding.
And Baraboo.
Yep, and Portage. I don't remember Sauk. I can't remember what their thoughts were on it. But yeah, and again, the other thing I don't know is I don't know if it's all sports. I know for sure it's football 2022, because that's when the new Sun Prairie School is going to be done. And so that's all I know on that. But it'll be interesting, that's for sure.
Big time.
Well, yeah. I mean, that
was a big breath there, Jeremy.
It's stupid. Should we jump into the Packers? The draft coming up here. So next Thursday, Berg boys are going to get together, watch the draft. Just kind of have a nice weekend, do some golfing Friday, watch the draft again Friday night. But I guess, we haven't really haven't dove too much into the Packers, and as much as I think we could have, you get these mock drafts that come out and these experts, whatever they are, but I'm seeing different things like defensive lineman, offensive lineman, wide receiver, and those are all somewhat needs. A cornerback's a need. We got some young linebackers, probably could use another one there. They're saying we could get a running back later in the draft, potentially as well. So I guess just kind of talking about, what do you guys want to happen? What do you think is going to happen? And Mike, I think we'll start with you.
I think here's a couple of things. I think we're going to have no clue because I seriously don't, because we've been the last couple of years,
we've been pissed every year.
We've been pissed, but we've also traded up. Yeah. So, I mean, does that trend continue for a third? Is it third or fourth straight year we've traded up? I think this would be the third straight year if we were to trade up. But yeah, if you look at our first round picks, obviously Jordan Love, he was not even on anybody's radar really, probably.
Nope.
The year before that was Rashawn Gary. I think he kind of fell to us. I think that year we picked was it 10 or 11 or something like that. I think he might have been projected to go a little higher, and then we traded up to get Savage, which I don't think we were talking about that at all. So yeah, I think I don't think we'll go after a wide receiver for some reason. I think it's going to be a cornerback. I know it is cornerback heavy this year, so hopefully we can get a good guy. We obviously signed Kevin King to a 1-year deal. I just got a hunch that we're going to go cornerback, but again, I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah.
I think I could definitely see cornerback, but I think we're going to go offensive lineman. That's just kind of my gut. I know it's just not going to be a flashy pick, and I know there's going to be Packer fans that are pissed about it, but I think we really need an offensive lineman, especially I think I mentioned before Bakhtiari, not knowing if he's going to be back right away. And then our departures, Lindsey, Taylor. So I think it's going to be that. But I'm pretty sure every single year we're always mad, whatever happens, until immediate reaction, I should say.
Okay.
We're like the Jets fans where they boo every pick, every first round pick.
Well, yeah. And I think Rosh, I think you'll agree that you'll be okay with it as long as it's a need, right? As long as it fills a hole that we currently have, which we feel like didn't really happen in the first 2 rounds last year. So go ahead if you want to.
3 rounds last
first
year.
3, yeah.
Who was our 3rd round pick last year?
Segura.
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
it?
Well, yeah,
Yep.
the tight end guy, fullback.
Giria or something.
Yeah. So I mean, Raj, unless you got something else, I have my eyes on a wide receiver from Minnesota. I don't love the idea of a Minnesota guy coming to Green Bay, but I like him. I know he's kind of working his way up the boards. Just so that we have this on record in case that it does happen, and I'm like a genius. But anyway, go ahead.
What about that? What about the wide receiver from Purdue?
Yeah, Rondell Moore.
It's not bad.
Fast guy.
Yeah, so I am a mock draft fiend. And I don't know why I do it because they're never right. I mean,
they're not.
They can even you would think the first like 5 picks, like the top 5 picks of the draft, you would think are like, okay, there's no way. Like with all the gossiping and rumors and social media, like you should be able to tell the first 5 picks. And these experts don't even get that right because teams shock them. Right.
Yeah.
You know, like it was the Raiders either last year or the year before. They got that Farrell from Clemson, that defensive end. And everyone was like, whoa, he's not a top 10 dude. And they took him like pick 6 or something. So like, I have no clue, especially pick 20. What are we, 29? No clue what's going to happen between now and then. You know, you could, like, I try to picture myself as a GM, which I do frequently. And you have to have like 15, like, it's not a plan A and a plan B. You have to have like 15 plans, right? Like, plan A is our dream guy if he falls. Plan B is our second dream guy if he falls. Plan C is if we trade up to get our dream guy. D, if all of our guys are gone, this is who, you know what I'm like. It just, they have to have so many different scenarios. And I don't care what we do. I honestly don't care if we trade up, trade down, whatever, as long as we fill some of our needs this year. Cornerback being a big need, that's got to be addressed in the draft. I don't think that's a free agency thing. I don't think that's a wait until next free agency thing. I think you need to get a young guy in the top 2 rounds and groom them. By re-signing King, it allows them to do that. My guess is they would probably, if they drafted a guy in the first or second round, they'd play him at that nickel or that slot corner to take some of the pressure off of him before and give him game time experience at the same time to eventually take over King's spot. We need offensive line bad. We currently, I mean, we lost one of the best centers in the game. We need depth at tackle big time. And so I would be completely fine if we went offensive line. Inside linebacker, I would really love a stud in terms of one that can stop the run, but is also fast enough to be able to cover. I mean, you watch Devin White of the Bucks during that playoff run, and the dude's just all over the field, right?
He's an animal.
Well, he ran a 4.3, you know, at the combine. So like that, but he's 225, 230 pounds. So finding a guy like that would be huge. I'm relatively confident in our inside backers, but I would 100% welcome a guy like that. I think D-line is also something we need to address. You know, to go with Kenny Clark. Our DNs are coming back, but they're not studs by any means. You know, they're going to do what they need to do. But I think part of our issue against the run, you know, is not only our personnel in terms of 3 down linemen, 2 down linemen, you know, what our linebackers are doing, but I think part of it's our personnel in our base 3 front. So I think getting 2 good DNs in there, or a DN to help at least compete or give us depth. But honestly, my gut is going to be, I honestly think we're going to go cornerback or O-line. There's a lot of good cornerbacks that I think could slide because of how many quarterbacks are going to be taken. And because my favorite part about people trading up to get quarterbacks is it pushes all the other really good talent back towards us.
Yeah. That's true.
So I do like that, and I hope 7 quarterbacks go in the first round because it keeps pushing back.
Which could happen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there's a couple corners that I like that could very well be available. This year, honestly, I'm with Jay Green too, though, and I'm not getting my hopes up, and I'm with Mike where it's probably not going to happen, but I wish it would happen. I think we need a slot receiver. And there's, you know, I really like Bateman from Minnesota. I like Moore from Purdue. I like Tooney from Florida. Those dudes are all they got burners, man. They can not only do stuff before the catch with their speed and quickness, but then they just make plays after. So now you're talking punt returns, kick returns as well. You know, we got Devontae Adams on the outside. We got Lazard at like 6'4". We got MVS at 6'3". I mean, we got
Funches.
We got Funches at 6'4". I mean, we just got these monster dudes that are possession receivers. I think we need that little water bug running back and forth in the middle. Being able to do those jet sweeps, being able to do those quick underneath routes, kind of like Randall Cobb used to be, kind of like Julian Edelman, Wes Welker. I mean, you can name it. Last year, the Saints drafted a dude with the last name Harris, and he really started to take a role in that offense towards the end of the year. Same type of thing. So I would hope they do something like that. But this is the first year where I'm actually not, believe it or not, I'm not getting my hopes up for a specific position group because last year was miserable. I hated last year.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Mike, what do you got?
2 questions for you guys. How pissed are we going to be with the 29th pick? How pissed are we going to be if they trade back? Because I think they did that when we drafted Kevin King that one year. We were all together.
So no, I think that year.
Yeah, we were. I'm almost certain that we drafted back, and then we were the first pick of the second round to get Kevin King.
Ted Thompson traded back a ton in his time.
Yeah.
It depends on what we get. And it depends on what talent is available. Like if we trade out of the first round, but we pick up like an additional second and third, let's do it. Because this draft class is really deep in the positions for the most part that we need. Like that Rondell Moore in a lot of mocks now, that's super
later.
He's sliding to the second round in these mocks now. So like you could, if you get a talent like that in the second round plus accumulate more, like I said, it'd depend on what we get, but I would not be a fan of that, especially with our extra comp picks that we got.
Because we got like 3.
Yeah, we're at 10 total. We're at 10 total right now. So I don't think we'll trade back because then we're going to be at like 12 picks. If anything, I could see us maybe moving up again. Shane there commented and said Goot has traded up or back in 3 of the 4 drafts. Yeah, so I mean he's chances of him staying at 29 are very slim.
Very slim.
So
I remember the year he traded back. I think we held it here in La Crosse because we stayed up for it.
Yes,
and then when it happened, we were like, "Oh my god!"
Because it was late in the first round, and then all of a sudden there was no pick until Friday, and I remember us being pissed off about it.
So my other question is, so this Mac Jones guy from Alabama, what are your guys like? So he's getting linked to like 3rd overall right now, which is like to me is like it's just insane because you look back start back to last year, it was. Like Trevor Lawrence was obviously the one guy, but it was like, is it gonna be Trevor Lawrence or is it gonna be Fields? And then now, like the last couple of weeks here, it's been Mac Jones, like
Wilson up there, isn't he?
Too? Yeah, but I'm saying like the 49ers draft like 3rd now, and he's linked to the 49ers, which to me is just like insane because like you look at Alabama, like all the weapons that they had, like the 2 wide receivers there, Najee Harris as their running
Jay
back.
Green could have played quarterback.
Easy.
But I don't know if you guys had any thoughts on that. I just that'd be insane if he was drafted 3rd overall, in my opinion. But what do I know?
No, I'm with you. Like it's just wild because going into this year, there was talks about Fields maybe pushing Lawrence for that 1st overall.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Fields had a couple games that were inconsistent, and supposedly now he's getting bashed for his mechanics or something. I don't know. I don't get into that quarterback mechanics crap because they bashed Phillip Rivers for how he threw the football, and the dude was in the NFL for 12 plus years. So like, it doesn't matter if you can get the ball from A to B and you're smart and you're a leader and you're intelligent. It doesn't matter how you throw the damn thing, but. Mac Jones going 3 is very surprising for me, Mike. I personally would put Fields ahead of it, but shit, I mean, it all comes down to team and what they're looking for in their quarterback, and obviously Shanahan, from the rumors, Shanahan loves Jones and loves what he has to offer. But man, when I look at Mac Jones and I look at Garoppolo, I don't see a big difference between the two. So like,
yeah, it's like why wouldn't you just keep Garoppolo then? You know what I mean? Like they're the same quarterback.
Exactly. So I think Mac Jones will be good. I think he's an accurate quarterback. I think he's super intelligent. I think he'll have a good career. Warrant of the 3rd overall pick? I don't think so. But before I forget, I know we talked about this, so I had to look it up. Talking about the draft and relating it to the Badgers. Okay, you guys will get a kick out of this, right?
Yep.
Our top ranked NFL draft
cornerback, isn't it?
Nope. Is Van Lannon.
O-line?
No, he's D-line, isn't he?
So this is as of January 25th. This article was posted. It says the NFL Draft Network updates 2021. The top one we have is number 219 ranked prospect, Cole Van Lannon, who's an offensive lineman. Coming in at 221 is Rashad Wild Goose Jr.
That's the guy I'm thinking of, yeah.
Wild Goose, yeah. Isn't Loudermilk up there?
Number 224 is Eric Burrell. But I think didn't he announce he was coming back, or I can't remember. There's something in the news about him, because this is from January, so things could have changed. Loudermilk is number 311. So like we talk about, somebody mentioned, I forget which one of you said something in our group text about it, but there's a good chance we're not going to have a Badger until round 4.
I didn't think 5. You guys. Yeah, I messaged that. You guys just kind of ignored me, to be honest.
I responded. I know I did. But yeah, it ain't looking good for Bucky. I can tell you.
While I'm thinking about it, Matt, is Sarah going to bring some of that buffalo chicken?
I don't know. Do you want me to bring it? I mean,
that'd be great.
I thought you know how to make it now.
I was going to make it, but I mean, she makes it better. So.
Well, if I end up taking that Amtrak back, it might be gone.
Oh, well, I'll just plan on making that.
Man,
Matt, I could just see Matt setting it next to him on the seat and then just doing this. Nope, I can't.
Yeah.
Nope. 20 minutes later, the thing's gone.
Yep.
All right, guys. I mean, we'll talk more about this next week, right?
Yeah.
We'll have official predictions, which you guys already got mine. But I think we'll dive into it a little bit more next week. Anything else, you guys, or do you guys want to? I got a little activity for us.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to just mention real quick, and I know we're getting close to our time, and I want to do our activity, but I'm part of a Facebook group, and I think it's like Reedsburg Memories or Reedsburg something, and I think it was yesterday. Did I send it yesterday? In our group text.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It was a picture of that Rocket playground that used to be at Webb. And like me, when I used to live on Locust, a couple blocks away from Webb. And so I remember going to that thing all the time. And it was just fun. It was fun to read through the comments and see that. And so I was just curious if you guys, because you're even a little bit younger than I am, if you guys remember going to that Rocket, sliding down it. I mean, I used to get cut up. I used to get metal burns on that thing because you would slide down that metal ramp that you weren't supposed to, because it was actually how you got up to the top. But it was fun to see pictures because I kind of forgot almost what it looked like, and it was kind of cool to see that. So I just wanted to see if you guys remember that or if you guys didn't.
I mean, I don't remember it. I remember vividly it getting taken down, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, it looks like that. Was it Lee Ganatzig, who posts a lot of stuff, and they're pretty neat pictures anyway.
Oh yeah,
definitely. My only memory for that is I remember like there was one section of it where it was so dark that you couldn't, like, I don't know if you were walking up or something like that. And I just remember like they had like, there was like graffiti and stuff, or like people would like sign their names and stuff in it. That's my memory of it anyways. Matt wasn't
even thought yet.
Barely remember it.
Still a young buck.
Yeah, I was gonna say I barely remember it.
No, I mean, I think, and that brings up a good question for next week. Like just good snacks for like draft and Super Bowl. I think that, I don't know if we talked about that before, but that'll be a good question to add to as well. So this activity, who wants to go first? Who wants to be brave and go first?
I'd say Matt.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Is it like just all right?
You ready? It's gonna be. I mean, it's literally.
We don't know.
I've
Like
literally
yes or no
told
or
you
what?
guys. I've literally told you guys nothing about this. So
All right.
you're gonna get 30 seconds. You got to name as many as you can with the category that I give you.
Oh Jesus.
Do you understand?
Man. Oh
Do you
my!
under?
Why,
You guys-
Jay Green?
You ready,
Dude.
Matt?
We're gonna make fools of ourselves on this podcast now.
You ready, Matt?
Let's do it.
Types of cereal. Go.
Rice Krispie treats.
Is that a cereal?
Tricks. Wait, Rice Krispies? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
You
Keep
said
going.
Rice Krispie treats.
Tricks. Cocoa
two.
Puffs. Captain Crunch. I don't
Raisin
eat
Bran.
cereal. That's the problem. God, tricks. Isn't there like a check?
That's gotta be 20 seconds.
Yep.
And
All right, that's it.
I don't know.
You got 5. Congrats, Matt.
I don't eat cereal.
Okay, who's next?
I'll go.
All right, you got to beat 5.
Wait, can he use the same ones?
No, we're not doing the same question either.
Oh,
So
okay.
I understand it may be unfair. I tried my best. Okay. You ready, Mike?
Oh, man, yeah, I
I'm
missed
ready.
a couple good ones there.
Cartoon characters. Go.
Ooh.
Woody.
Oh, this is gonna be
Buzz.
so easy.
He is a dad.
Jeez. What'd you say?
You are a dad, so it should be pretty good. But
Woody, Buzz. Let's see. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Elsa. Trying to think of stuff here. How many is that?
5.
I think I'll get one more to beat Matt.
Time.
Woody the Woodpecker.
Time.
No.
That was in. That's 6.
No.
God, this last one's probably going to be the easiest. Let me try and think. Okay, let's do this. All right. You ready? I changed it up last minute.
Oh, great.
Just so you know, the question was going to be colleges with the color green in it, but that seems too easy. Okay. You ready?
I guess.
Reptiles, go.
Put me on the spot.
Reptiles. I don't even know what classifies as a reptile. Snake, turtles, lizards, iguana.
Ooh, now it's the
I don't
tough
know. Alligator and a crocodile. So those are 2 different ones if they're both considered reptiles. Snake, frog, toad, lizard, iguana. Yep.
There's one.
Yeah,
Huh?
I was gonna say he beat 5 for sure.
I think you won. I
don't even know if those are reptiles. I should have listened more. I should have listened more in science class in high school.
Yeah, I wasn't as prepared as I probably should have been. But is alligator and crocodile, are those reptiles?
I don't know.
Are they're both reptiles? Dean. Alligators and crocodiles, are they both reptiles?
Just give him a second to
Those
type
might
here.
be-
We know he's listening.
I do not know what those are.
Yeah, I mean, Mike, I thought you were going to get more than 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I drew a blank.
Hey,
Ninja
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, you could list 7 characters
Goofy.
just on that
Just
thing.
start thinking about Disney movies.
Yeah.
Daphne. Pocahontas.
Leonardo, Donatello,
Yeah.
Let's see what Dean says.
Moana.
Yeah.
Here. What is your,
He said
Yes.
yes.
yeah, okay. All right. Well, congratulations, Kris. Kathy said, why would I ask Jason? Yeah. Anyway, okay, guys. Everybody, thanks for joining in. Have a great week. I hope that you guys already had a good Monday. Mine was a long Monday. I hope yours was better than mine. And we'll check back with you next Monday. That sound about right, guys?
Sounds good.
So,
Take care, guys.
Oh,
All
that's a great question, by the way, there, Jay Green, from Mr. Keith Craker. I think in all these activities, you need to participate too.
Oh,
Keith
yeah.
used to be a neighbor of mine, and we need to talk before you speak again on here. Because, I'm just a host. So, all right, everybody, take care. Thanks for joining. See you soon.
See you
Take
guys.
care.
Thanks, everybody.